First Step.
Hey, how's everyone doing? Welcome to the spooky version of the First Step podcast. Thank you guys so much for listening. You guys are incredible. I have Javi with me. We're here. We're going to be talking some puck, some football. So excited to see you, Jav. How we doing, buddy?
Good, man. Feels good to get back.
I know I missed
I
you.
feel like I've been MIA for far too long.
I love Stupid Stu and I love Charlie Pitskin, but I miss your beautiful face. Thank you for dressing up as Bigfoot today. I really appreciate it. I love how you're.
You look ridiculous. You look ridiculous, by the way.
Why? This is my natural look. This is what I look like all the time.
You wish you had that much hair.
People have been telling me like, Kev, take off the cap. Take off the cap. This is why I don't take off the cap, because this is what I look like naturally.
You absolutely wish you had that much hair.
You're absolutely. It's embarrassing how much I wish I had this hair. Also, I love how this thing has like these. If you notice, it has like these blonde, long streaks in it. Those are natural.
Where's that wig from? Get the fuck out of here.
This is believe it or not, this is from my father's closet. It's the closest thing I have to a wig. I'm doing Nacho Libre tomorrow with the fam, and this is the closest thing I have to look like Nacho Libre because no one has that hair but him. But that's enough about me. I'm super excited.
Hey, wait, hold on. Nacho Libre, are you wearing like the full speed, like tight outfit and everything?
No. My son is wearing that. My son is wearing that. I'm wearing the tight, like blue sweater one with the tight white pants with the nargis, really tight nargis. That's what I'm wearing. I got those linen pants.
I cannot wait to see pictures of that.
I'm super excited. It's the first time that the kid's going to be able to like walk and actually enjoy Halloween. Last time he was so little, he couldn't walk it. So I'm pumped.
It's fun. Get ready. It's a great time. And you get to eat all the candy because they're too little for the candy. So
I know. It's going to be great. I love it. I'm super excited. My fat boyness is coming to fruition tomorrow, and I'm excited. I'm almost like my heart is already pre-palpitating from all the sugar I'm about to eat. Dude, so let's jump into it real quick. If you guys are listening to this, you probably just heard we already talked about college football with Stupid Stu and Charlie Pigskin. Make sure you guys take a listen on that. That's on part 1. Super incredible stuff. We got a lot of good stuff going on there. A lot of great bets. Make sure you guys follow and like us on Instagram and on TikTok and on what's that other thing called? X to see our picks when we lock it in. Also check the blog out on the website at firststeppodcast.com. That's using like the number 1 firststeppodcast.com. Make sure you check it out. We put our blogs, we lock in our picks, we talk about everything through there. Right now, me and Hav, we're going to be talking about 2 things. First thing I want to go through, NFL. I miss it. I miss talking about it. I love you for it. How do you feel about last week? I thought there was a lot of good games going on. First thing I want to talk about is the Dolphins. How are we feeling? Tua's back. Our offense looked like it has a pulse again. I know we didn't get the win, but I don't think we looked as bad as people think. I think we looked alive. And that's all
we look alive, but at the end of the day, it's the same result. It's the same old Finns doing the same old things. I mean, you look good, but it doesn't matter whether you look good or you look bad. At the end of the game, you're going to blow it. We did just that.
I feel
like this team cannot, whenever this team has its back up against the wall, and they need an absolute win. Like was it week 6 game against the Colts? Week
7.
Or I guess that was week 7. It was our 6th game. We needed that. We get to that. We're 3-3, and we got through this whole Tua thing. And we can't hold a 10-point lead. We blow a 10-point lead. All right? It's like you really needed that win. Then this week, okay, fine. But now you got to win this one. You want to stay kind of within striking distance of the Bills for the division, which at this point is long fucking gone.
See ya.
See ya. And then you go and we go out there, and sure, the offense has life, great for fantasy, yeah, fun for TV, if you're a red zone guy or something. But as a Dolphins fan, like it's the same old Finns, man. And it's
I'm gonna tell you something. I wholeheartedly disagree with you. I think, yes, obviously, I would much prefer the win. I much prefer us to take the W there. But I think as a Dolphins fan, what I did like to see is what I was watching was I was watching a game that I could watch their offense. Tua was actually moving the ball. We had chances. Granted, we didn't score on every opportunity that we had, but we had opportunities, which was the opposite with Tyler Huntley, which was the opposite with Skylar Thompson, which was the opposite with what we saw for the last 3 weeks without Tua. I'm so excited Tua's back. I know I'm a Tua apologist, and I like watching him, and I say that he is the leader of the team. I posted on the blog. I get that people make fun of me on that.
Results.
But we saw results with Tua. We saw results.
What results?
This offense moved the ball with Tua.
Dude, move the ball to lose. We moved the ball enough to still lose.
Listen, Waddle and Tyreek Hill had 0 targets for 2 games without Tua.
Okay, I understand, man. I understand your point 100%. So now we're a little more competitive. But you really think this team is going to beat the Bills this week?
No, fuck.
Do you really believe that?
I don't think we're going to beat the Bills, but I think we have an opportunity to get a wild card spot.
I don't know.
I think the AFC East is garbage right now. The Jets look awful. We could talk about that a little bit. I think Aaron Rodgers has destroyed this team. He is a cancer to this team. He came inside and he has rotten them from the inside out.
I'll disagree with you on that because the Jets have been garbage, and Aaron Rodgers has always been an elite quarterback and on good teams. He's not really a franchise killer. So to put this all on Aaron Rodgers, to put like a dog shit franchise that hasn't been good in years, to put all that on Aaron Rodgers, I don't know about that. It's beautiful to watch, but you can't blame that on Aaron Rodgers. You can't.
Aaron Rodgers has only played with one other team, right? So yes, I will say that. Yes, of course, he's always played with the Packers, which were a good team when he got there, and a good team that he left off. But I will say that Aaron Rodgers,
it's a good franchise.
It's a great franchise, right? It's a great run franchise.
He has zero history of being a cancer. Like zero history.
Well,
that's completely out of left field.
That's not true.
He's only been an MVP for the past.
He's always talking shit. He's always causing drama. He's always saying things that he's not supposed to be saying. I've heard players don't even like playing with him. Players don't like hanging out with him. His own family doesn't even like hanging out with him. What are you talking about? He's like a known,
these are just like rumors. Where have you heard that players don't like him?
This is fact. His family doesn't like him.
Yeah, but everyone knows he's not close to his family. But players, he's a horrible teammate. Players hate players.
Yes, players don't like him. Players don't like him.
Where is this coming from?
Ask Mark, bro. A bunch of people talk about that. How he's just not a good team guy. People don't like him.
I don't know about that, man. I don't know about that.
He's an absolute talent, right? I'm not going to take away. He's one of the best quarterbacks we've ever seen.
You don't have 15 years of winning seasons, winning your division, going deep into the playoffs, winning Super Bowls, MVPs, and you're just a cancer. That's not how it works, man. If he was a cancer, he would have been off that team years ago, and he wouldn't be the quarterback he is.
I think his play outshines his personality, and I think in this situation, he's just not playing to his absolute best, and he doesn't have the talent surrounding him. And even if he does have the talent, they just don't like him. They just don't like him.
I don't know, man. I couldn't disagree with you more there on Aaron Rodgers being a cancer. I will agree 100% that the Jets are a sinking ship. They're absolute trash.
The Jets themselves are a cancer. He's
like a
cancer within cancer.
I love watching them, but there's no way you can put this on Rodgers.
Yeah, I think
it's a dog shit franchise. They've been bad. They firing their coach out of nowhere. They're a fucking goddamn mess, man.
Yeah, I think last week was their best chance to take a W against the Patriots, and we saw they couldn't get it done. I have them with a D grade for last week. I think they're gonna get rocked this week as well. I don't like them at all. But that being said, the Patriots also garbage. Talk about a team that's not motivated. When your head coach is calling you soft, you're not going to do well throughout the season. I mean, they keep pulling off little wins here and there, but I think they're also garbage. I think they have no hope. Out of the 3 not called the Bills in the AFC East, the Dolphins have the most hope to them. I think that they have the most potential on their offense, especially their defense. I think McDaniels lost the team a little bit there, and he has to kind of recover, help fix his play calling a little bit. I think there's a lot of missed opportunities there for us to take that champion. I
just going back to the whole wild card. We would have to go on a crazy run. We have basically no room for error anymore.
We're gonna have a perfect season from here on out.
You got basically no room for error at this point. And you look at the kind of the teams in front of us now. Cincinnati. They're just a better team.
But they're playing like shit too, right?
They're playing like shit, but they're I have a lot more faith of them making a run for the wild card than we do. Then you have the actual wild card teams right now, which are like the Chargers, the Colts, I can see teams like that. Now that the Colts have Joe Flacco, they're going to be a tough out every week. It's boring style football, but Jim Harbaugh has those boys always ready to play. So I could see those teams being better set up to be a wild card run rather than the Dolphins. Hey, we're delusional fans, so
Delusional.
I guess sure if we believe. Right now, I'm just very down on the Dolphins. I'm depressed. I'm sad. I'm struggling to believe. By Sunday, I'll be believing again because I do it every single week. But it's still
You're
Wednesday.
glutton for punishment.
It's Wednesday right now. We're recording this on Wednesday night. I'm still not over. The Thursday night is usually when I start coming back around. I start watching the Thursday night game. I start believing again. I start going through my fantasy stuff. And, I start drinking the Dolphins Kool-Aid again. But until then, I'm just going to hate on them for the rest of the night.
Listen, I think this game against the Bills is going to show a lot about the Dolphins. I think the Dolphins really want to win this game, make a statement here. I don't know if they're going to be able to do it. However, if we're talking about leans for this week on the Dolphins game specifically, the one lean I have here is I saw a chain over 4.5 receiving yards. I'm going to take that once it comes out on the prop bets. I really like that bet. I think Tua Haynes likes A-Chain, especially outside the pocket there, a little lateral moves. Give me A-Chain over 49.5. I'm going to avoid that line at 6.5 because I have a lot of faith in my Dolphins. I am a sucker. I'm a glutton for punishment. I have homer bias, and I'm not going to deny it. I like them. If we're going to bet something on that game, it's going to be there. So keep an eye out for it. I'm going to avoid that one like wildfire. I want to talk a little bit about the Lions.
One other bet I would take in that game would be like going on what you said, A-Chain rushing and receiving total. I think he's our entire offense.
Is it like 75?
Right now.
Is it 75 yards or something?
They haven't posted it yet, but it's going to be under 100. And I think no matter what, he's looking at 90, 100, 110 all-purpose yards. So I'm hammering that pretty much no matter what the line is.
I like it. I like it a lot. One team I want to talk about, the Lions. I am so high on Dan Campbell this season. I freaking love everything he's doing. I love that entire team. I want to be on that team. If I started watching football today, that's the team I'm rooting for. How do you feel about them? I know last week was a phenomenal watch. This week is going to be tough for them. I think this week is brutal against the Packers. We talked about it a little bit. Going into Green Bay, going to Lambeau, and taking on the Packers is never easy. Do you think they have a chance?
You mean the Lions? Yeah, Lions. Of course. I think the Lions have a chance against any team in the NFL. But I'm with you. This has been a super fun team. Kind of been my NFC team since last year.
Yeah, dude, I was really rooting for them all last year for the story.
We've grown up watching them just be absolutely abysmal frank for so many years. They're kind of the laughing stock for a long time of the NFL. And then, Dan Campbell's turned them around. We're also, we both have a soft spot for Dan Campbell. Loved him when he was here. He was the interim coach. Good job, Finns. But, yeah, you got to love what he's doing there. And, I've been rooting for them all year. I've been betting them all year, both prop bets. Montgomery, anytime TD is one of the best. It's been one of the most profitable bets.
That's so money. It's easy money.
In sports. And then as far as this week goes, do we know the quarterback situation for Green Bay?
We don't. Jordan Love's we don't know yet.
Is he officially ruled out? We don't know
yet. So that's why I'm avoiding placing. I'm avoiding placing a lot of bets until a lot of injuries.
I would take right now. I think the line is probably somewhere. I think it's -3, 3.5, something like that.
Yeah, I have it at 3.5. Packers at 3.5 though. Not bad.
At plus 3.5 or -3.5?
Plus 3.5.
Yeah, I mean, I think. I kind of want to take. I think I would right now. I'd take the Lions -3.5.
Until we find out more about Jordan Love.
And then, I haven't been betting a lot of spreads in the NFL. I'm going a lot more props because I've just lost too much money betting NFL spreads this year. I've been horrible against the spread. But if Love is out, this line is going to shift dramatically.
Yeah, absolutely.
I can see the Lions even, I could see this going up 5.5. I don't know if it'll get to a full touchdown because they're on the road against another 6-2 divisional team. But I definitely think if Love is out, the line will move. So if you like the Lions, if you're feeling them, I think that the 3.5 number without Jordan Love will look really nice.
Yeah, I think NFL's in a really good spot. I mean, we're almost to the halfway point, right? We got one more game, and we're at odd numbers now this year. But I'm excited. I think we've seen a lot of good football. I do think college football has been better this season, but NFL is just ramping up right now. This is where teams start getting to the
Yeah, I
nitty-gritty.
feel like the first time we talked about this, one of the few pods I was able to jump on during my paternity leave. But the beginning of the NFL year was not good. It was pretty trash. It was bad football. We talked all different reasons why it could be, but the last couple weeks, week 6, 7, 8, I think we've turned a corner. We're starting to see some really good football, some very exciting games, explosive offenses, shootouts. You're kind of seeing, tons of injuries. So that's
tons.
unfortunate. I think this has been we say it every year, but this has been a crazy injury year for like big name guys. But I think that we've definitely turned a corner with the NFL year. We're starting to see some exciting football, and it's perfect timing, man, because we're getting ready for the holiday season, and that's prime NFL football watching season for me.
Yeah, I talked about it in the college section, man. I think November, December football is kind of my favorite style of football, right? It's like that fall, getting into the nitty gritty, where teams are trying to square up their spots in the playoffs, really making push. Sometimes you're seeing these teams playing twice against their division rivals already, so it's exciting, man. I think NFL is going to really start ramping up now. Guys that were hurt earlier in the season are coming back. Now you're seeing a lot of backup QBs come in. I mean, last week I think we saw 5 backup QBs jump in. A lot of surprises. But yeah, I think for you guys listening, make sure you guys follow us on Instagram, especially on Sundays and Saturdays. That's when we place in our picks. You'll see the Bigfoot hairy man post his stuff. I post my stuff. On college, we have Stupid Stu and Charlie Pigskin come in. Every now and then we get Og the Dog to let him out of the cage, and he throws in his picks as well. So make sure you guys follow us. That's when we lock in our picks. On the blog is kind of where we have all the analysis. So if you guys want to check us out there, I usually post those the day before. So on Saturday, you'll see the stuff for the NFL. On Friday, you'll see the stuff for college football. Also, I do like kind of grades of the games and of the teams the Monday or Tuesday of the week after. So make sure you guys check out the blog for that stuff. I think I'm done with football. I think it's time for everyone to know.
I got one NFL thing. One NFL thing. Just because I need some help here. I have a big Survivor pick coming up.
Who do you want?
That's the thing. I have no idea.
Who can't you use?
I've already used. It's been such a crazy Survivor year. The way I've gotten by is I've used a lot of the horses. I've already used the Chiefs. I've used teams like the Eagles. I used the Texans. I used the Ravens. So my lean this week is Vikings over Colts. That seems to be the best matchup I have left. Some of these teams are Seahawks, Rams. That seems tough to pick.
So I'm kind of leaning on the Colts on that side with Flacco. So I would kind of.
But see, here's my thing. Vikings are a good team. We know they're a good team.
Yeah, Flacco's a good QB.
I understand that, but Flacco is horrible, and he's this is statistically known thing with him. Going back to last year, he is awful against the blitz. Every time he gets blitzed,
a heavy blitzer.
Yeah, and they blitz the piss out of every quarterback. So that's part of my reason. I don't know. Is there any other game you see on here? Cardinals, Bears, that seems like a toss-up. Panthers, Saints, toss-up.
Bengals, Raiders, I kind of like Bengals there.
I used the Bengals already, though.
Have you done Texans? Texans versus Jets?
Texans was my opening week pick.
Man, I kind of like the Seahawks against the Rams. But that's...
I used the Seahawks already, too.
Oh, jeez. Ravens, Broncos. I've used the Ravens already. It's kind of early.
I haven't. I was trying to save them, and the Ravens make me nervous, man. Every week, you think they're gonna dominate, they don't dominate.
If Derek Carr comes back, I would say Saints over Panthers.
Yeah, I was looking at that one too. I was waiting to see what's gonna happen with Derek Carr. Has he been announced? Because they're -7.5 that line. That's kind of crazy with a backup quarterback in.
The Panthers are awful. That is the
agree.
Worst defense in the history of defenses. That is a bad team.
I agree.
So if Derek Carr comes in, I do like the Saints there, man.
Saints or Vikings.
The Browns aren't playing this week.
The Browns against the Chargers, though. I don't really want to. That's too much of a coin flip. I mean, even the line is
no,
I think it's 1 right now.
Yeah, it's
It's almost
-2.
a pick 'em.
I think I have
It's a pick 'em at this
you know what
point.
I like on that one is the over 42 points on that one. But yeah, I would wait. I would wait about the Derek Carr and I would do Saints. If not, I would play with what you were saying against the
Oh, the other one I was looking at is Commanders Giants.
taking the
Commanders on the
Commanders.
road. I don't like picking road teams, but I don't really have much of a choice this week.
Um,
Jaden Daniels kind of hurt, but we saw him do magic last week. And the Giants are fucking bad, man.
Ti-
They are so
Patriots
bad.
Titans. If you want a stinker of a game to go for.
I don't
No, I
trust
like the
either of those
Commanders,
teams.
man. I like the Commanders there at -3. I mean, I know it's Survivor, but I like the Commanders there. That's not bad,
That's not
dude.
bad.
Washington,
All right.
can't, like the Giants are not a good team. I think Danny Dimes just isn't the guy. You know.
That's my thing, man. I think that I could just see that. I feel like the Commanders are actually a good team this year.
I mean,
Like,
Jaden Daniels is like a freak of nature,
hey, he's this year's CJ Stroud. CJ Stroud came out last year and did the
and he's
same
going to
thing.
come in healthy. I think they're going to be scoring. I like the Commanders here, honestly.
By the way, Dodgers have bases loaded.
And we're
Just
not
kidding. What's the Heat? What's the Heat score? Are you kidding me?
102.98. I'm not talking Heat yet. We're not going to get there. The season's too early for me to start talking shit. I'm giving
We're
us
gonna blow this
chance.
fucking game. God damn it.
We're gonna get
They're gonna
Skippy
mess-
in here, and we're gonna start.
I have a
talking
parlay
NBC.
ready to go.
Oh,
All right,
but
let's talk some puck, man. I've been
let's
itching to talk puck with
some
somebody.
freaking puck. So we're a month in, right? We're
I've been
barely
locked
a month
in.
in.
I've been watching so much. I haven't missed a single Panther game this year.
That's beautiful. And have you watched the hat? The hat.
The hat is
been
back.
watched?
The hat will not be washed. I will be getting a new one soon. I'm gonna so you'll see some new ones for this year, but I might have to break this one out again for the playoffs.
You're gonna have to wait. You're gonna have to wait until
this
we
is
lose.
the hat. This
You're
is
gonna
the
have to wait
cup
until
hat.
we lose. You know.
Yeah.
So yeah, we have it's been kind of a crazy month. The teams that were coming in very hot that we thought were going to do really well, the Edmonton Oilers. We thought that they were going to dominate this season, have kind of been stumbling, haven't done that well. I have here a set of different tiers of teams that I want to go through and kind of where I see them going throughout the season. Obviously, I have like the big top dogs, the Stanley Cup contenders. I have teams that are, in the playoffs looking to make a move. I have teams that are right there on the bubble. Then I have teams that are like straight up just garbage. I have some guys in the middle, but we'll ignore those for today. I want to go through them. Let me pick your brain, see where we at. But first, before we talk all about that, I mean, it's my first team anyways, the Stanley Cup contenders in the first tier. Talk to me, Panthers. How are we feeling about them this year?
I mean, I feel great about them from what I've seen to start the season. I think going into the season, the big question mark that a lot of people are saying with this team was, are they going to back-to-back cup runs? Are they going to have that hangover? They basically had those 2 years was one giant season for them.
Yeah.
That's what it felt like. That's what it felt like for me as a fan.
Sure.
It felt like it was one huge season, pretty close to the same roster, both those years, a couple tweaks. And then, we made 2 huge runs. And then this year, roster got shaken up a little bit. I mean, the forwards haven't been touched much, but there was some movement for that fourth line. The whole defense was kind of revamped. You had guys like OEL and Montour leave on the defense, which I think were the 2 big losses I think we had defensively. We did bring in Bookfist. I'm still figuring out how to pronounce it. Him and his brother, but Adam, the defenseman, training camp reports of him were that he was tearing it up, and he's been pretty solid so far. Montour replacement. He's been pretty good. He's playing on the power play. So we like Nate Schmidt. That seems like another guy that's been pretty good. He's kind of like the Oliver Ekman-Larsson of this year. That's I can see him being that type where he was like a guy that his career was kind of on the downward turn. He was kind of, a lot of teams were down on him. And then they brought him in just like they brought in OEL last year and like revamped his career. And I mean, look, played an incredible year, jump-started his career again, and he got a 4-year deal. So hopefully Nate Schmidt is like that. And then the other big question we lost that fourth line. That we lost some really gritty guys, Lomberg, Cousins. That fourth line was a big deal. But the guys we brought in, AJ Greer, he's shown to be. I haven't seen I've seen him make some kind of stupid plays, some dumb turnovers, but he's kind of been that feisty, mix it up, get nasty, dropping the gloves. So he's kind of filling that role in pretty well. And then you've seen what's this guy's name? Sorry, man, I'm drawing a blank here.
It's all right. Before you keep going, you know who I think is playing really well, especially when Barkov got hurt, is Lindell, man. I think he's really stepped up. Really
I was going to get into the third line too, but Skevich, the rookie.
Yeah.
That guy's come in, and he was the one that I was going to say. He's not really a rookie. I guess he's a second year. Maybe he's a rookie this year. But we drafted him 2 years ago, and I think he played in the minors last year.
Sure.
I got a parlay that I just need to heat the win to cash it. So
buddy.
I've been watching. But Sam Miskevich, I mean, that dude is fast. He's been a good little lightning rod. I think he's going to be a nice piece as long as he keeps developing. And then, I mean, look, the rest of this team, the big nine. I call them the big nine at this time. Those first three lines of forwards. Holy smokes, are we just loaded? We are rocking and rolling. We saw this team. Look, we owned Boston, so we won opening night. But then we kind of had these two really ugly losses. And you're like, we lost to Ottawa and Buffalo, which are not supposed to be good teams. They're playing better this year, but those are bad teams.
I mean, keep in mind, we had a few injuries.
But this was before the injuries.
Yeah, that's true.
Actually, I think it was the Buffalo game or the Ottawa game that Barkov got hurt at the end of it. But we had those two losses, but then, man, you saw this team, like, it didn't matter. Yeah. And that's when I was like, all right, we're fine. Like, this team is going to be a wagon all year. We're for sure going to make we're a playoff team for sure. And I really think that we're the favorite to win the Atlantic Division. I think overall the Atlantic Division is the toughest division. This division is loaded. Florida, Toronto, Tampa, Boston, and then you have teams like Ottawa, Detroit that are playing better this year. Even though Detroit kind of got off to a wonky start, you like to see them. They almost got that wild card spot last year, so it's going to be a really tough division, especially with those those big four teams there. But I still think, man, seeing this Panthers team come out and without Kachuk, without Barkov, I think his over-under on goals was like 38 or 39 for the year. Like, they're really dropping him off. And that dude might score 60 again this year, man. Like,
it's been exciting.
He's been on a tear. He really got a star there. I think Reinhardt is really a real legit NHL superstar that we have there. And, like, this whole team, you saw them come together without their studs. We were still winning.
Yeah.
We're at the top of the division. We're 7-3, I think.
7-3-1. I think this team has been a lot of fun to watch. If we're not the favorite, we're the second closest favorite to win the Stanley Cup. Definitely top to win the Atlantic. I think that this team is an absolutely nightmare for other teams to face against and go, especially in playoff time. No one wants to see us in the Eastern Conference Final.
The only thing that I think could be our Achilles heel is backup goalie. We went with Spencer Knight this year. I get it. You got to see what you got there. We spent a lot of draft capital there. He came onto the scene. He did good. We saw him win that famous playoff game against Tampa a couple years ago. I was at that game. The whole stadium was chanting Spencer Knight. It was an incredible, incredible moment. And then we all know, the poor guy, his off the ice issues, his mental health stuff. He's got that crazy OCD that he's had to basically check out for a while. He had to check himself in and get that dealt with. But he's back, and he's our backup this year. Hasn't been that sharp to start. We saw him have the first game was not good. We've seen him have a couple decent starts since then. But if you can get 20, 30 good games from him this year, I mean, watch out, because Bob is on fire. Bob is a beast.
Bob had 400 career wins or something like that recently.
Just his 400 career win. And you've already seen it, man. I mean, he's still in good form. My worry is, can you give him a little rest? That's why if we can get 20, 30 games from our backup goalie, I think it'll go a very long way for this team and giving Bob some a little reprieve, so he's ready to go for the playoffs for another deep playoff run.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think that is kind of our weakness. We still have a lot of time for him to get into a rhythm or maybe even make a move to bring someone else on board. Still a lot of time for that. I'm excited. I'm really excited for the Panthers this season. I think we're going to make another run at it.
I do think this is going to be a team that they're going to see what.
Yeah, I don't think this team is going to be the same roster by the end of the season.
Come trade deadline, we'll find out who the sellers are. We've been buyers the last couple of years. We got Tarasenko last year.
Right.
We know how huge that was for us. So, those are guys that we got before the trade deadline. But yeah, I definitely think that we'll make some trade deadline moves to bolster this roster up wherever we have some deficiencies to just get us ready for another cup run. Let's rock and
Yeah,
roll, baby.
I'm pumped.
Dynasty, three cups in a row. That's a dynasty already.
3 cup like appearances in a row is a
Three
dynasty.
cup appearances in a row.
Two
Three cup
cups in a
final
row. 2 cups
appearances.
in a row is, I'm sure that's not common.
Nah, we win this year. It's 100% a dynasty. Like, get the fuck out of here.
Let's
We
talk
would have
about
gone President's Trophy, Cup final, loss, Cup win, Cup win. Come on, that's a 4-year. Get out of here.
wait, for the presidents. For the presidents, we lost that year. We lost in the first round, right?
Second round. Second round.
Oh, in the second round. Then we won, or we lost in the Stanley Cups, and then we won the Stanley Cup. So this would be another. Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah, that's a dynasty.
That's a dynasty. All right, let's talk about a few other teams here. Let's talk about the Dallas Stars. I think they've looked incredible this year. They look like they're in midseason form already. Talk about defense, dude.
Absolute wagon.
Heiskanen looks like he's a fucking monster on defense, and Robertson and Hintz throwing in some offensive firepower. I think they're poised to make a serious run here. Jake Odinger on net is looking great.
Yeah, dude. And they locked him up. He got his deal.
Yeah, he's got that deal. We're going to see them now. You guys are going to be listening to this, so you're going to see them now playing against the Panthers in Finland back-to-back.
Oh, yeah.
I think this
That's
is
gonna be
really
fun.
going to cement who's the big dog in the NHL. I think that if Panthers aren't the favorite right now, Dallas is the favorite. So after this weekend, we're going to see really who's taking on. I mean, I think this is super cool. Both teams have some guy from Finland. I'm super excited about this. What is it called? The World Series?
The global series, or yeah, it's the global series where different teams go play overseas. But yeah, I mean, both these guys have multiple players from Finland. The Panthers have, I think, 4, and I think the Stars have like at least 2. They're looking like they're ready to make another cup run. You know, they've been right there the last couple of years. They're knocking on the door. The West is going to be tough this year. The West is going to be no joke.
The Rangers also look great this year. They're flying high. I mean, they got a very balanced roster. Truba's doing some work on defense. I don't know how to say his name. Lafreniere and Kako finally on offense, doing stuff with
Lafreniere just got a new deal.
Did he?
Yeah, I think they was announced like yesterday. They got it, and it was a pretty good deal too.
Nice. There you go. So yeah, I mean, look, that's a young guy that now on a new deal. I think he's playing really well. Jets also freaking playing great hockey. I mean, they were undefeated until recently.
They just lost their first game to the Maple Leafs, but to
Yeah.
me, they've been the biggest surprise in the NHL so far. They've just kind of been on a tear. Those first couple lines of theirs are studs. I would say the first 3 lines. A lot of people thought they were going to be dead in the water after last year. They just got bodied in the playoffs in the first round. But nope, they made some moves. They didn't spend that much money, but they made some good moves in the offseason to get that roster ready. You can just see it, man. They are playing some good hockey. That is a good team. They're going to be no joke. I don't think they're a flash in the pan. I think that's a good hockey team.
I think, man, and forgive me the way I'm saying this. I don't know if I'm saying that right. I think he's been great on the net, man. I think he's doing good stuff. And I wouldn't be surprised if I see this team, the Western Conference,
It's Hellebuck, by the way.
Connor Hellebuck's been an absolute beast.
He's a monster. He's one of the top goaltenders in the league.
And the other team I like here, kind of in the Stanley Cup talking, granted, we're talking about the first month of hockey. There's still a lot of hockey to play here. But I'm talking about the teams that we see right now. Vegas Golden Knights, man. I think this team has...
Oh, yeah.
I think this team is so formidable. And we talked about them last year when we were talking in the playoffs and how scary they are when they want to be and how quick and how deep. And I think they're back on track. I think they're going to make another deep run. And I would not be surprised if we see these mother effers in the freaking Western Conference Finals. But those are my big Stanley Cup teams. The next tier I have are teams that are probably going to be in the playoffs. They look really good. I have the Wild on the top dog here. I think Minnesota has been playing really well. I think Gustafsson is at the net has been stopping pretty much everything. They're 6-1-2. I think their biggest question here is how deep that team is. It's not very deep.
By the way, I'm surprised you didn't put Edmonton in that tier. I know they haven't played well, but going from
so if we're talking about after the first month, Edmonton doesn't.
Okay, yeah, you're right. I mean,
if we were talking about preview, like if this was the first day of hockey, I would say Edmonton would be on top of the Panthers. That team is stacked. They deserve to be on paper. They should be number 1, but they've been playing like shit, man. McDavid and Draisaitl are as good as they've been, but the team does not score.
They've been playing better. Draisaitl, he's turned it around, but Connor McDavid got hurt. I think last night or the night before.
Last night, I think it was last night.
I don't know if it was last night or the night before, but they're saying he's going to miss at least 2 weeks with an ankle injury.
Yeah,
they're saying day to day, but he may wish. They're talking about him missing like 2 to 3 weeks. So
Arvidsson can't score. So if Arvidsson could score and help them out, then maybe I give them a better potential. But right now, I have them outside looking in. I don't even have them as playoff contenders because they haven't played like playoff contenders.
No, they started bad. They did start bad, but they've turned it around, man. Like
bro, they're 4-5-1, bro. They won 4 games.
Okay, it's still very early.
All right.
4-5-1 is still,
All right, so back to the Wild.
It's how they played recently.
I think they lack depth. I don't think they can make a real Stanley Cup run without adding a few more pieces, especially in those third and fourth lines. Another team I like this year, Carolina. I like them a lot. I just feel like they're losing the puck and kind of getting manhandled on possession times. Devils, another good team. I think if their defense steps up a little bit, they could actually make a run for it. But right now, like everyone,
they're high flying. They're like the Panthers 5-6 years ago, where we could just score a million goals, but we weren't really built for the playoffs.
Yeah.
So I mean, look, they're a good team right now. They're I think they're at the top of their division. But I'm with you on there, man. I think they're one of those teams. They're kind of like Carolina. They kind of haven't gotten over the hump, and I'm not sure they really did anything to stand out for, to really take on some of these big dogs like the Panthers or the Lightning or the Leafs or any of the big dogs from the from the East.
Yeah, I agree. I think they need to add somebody. I don't know who's available for them, but they got to get some depth there. So this is kind of the next tier is where I have like Tampa Bay, the Oilers, the Canucks, the Maple Leafs, the Bruins. I think the best out of there are the Tampa Bay Lightning. I think they're just kind of adjusting to life without Stamkos right now. No, they're not. I'm not saying they're bad.
I think this Tampa. This is the one we've been pretty on point with everything. I'm going to disagree with you on this one. I think Tampa's the real deal, man. I think Tampa's more on that. I think the Tampa's more. They're closer to that first tier of
the
teams,
Stanley Cup tier. You're putting them with the Panthers.
No, they're close to that tier. I think this Tampa team is the real deal.
Oh, they're in the one under. They're in that playoff tier.
I think the state of Florida owns the NHL right now. Stanley Cup still runs through Florida, but Tampa's gonna try and come get it.
Which is the state of Florida with hockey sticks, just to prove how much Florida is a hockey state. Thank you. Back to you, Javi.
Great plug. But I'm just that's the that's the one that I think we're in disagreement on. I think Tampa is I think they lost Stamkos, but it doesn't seem like they've missed much of a beat. I think they might have the best first line in hockey. I mean, that first line is nasty. Yeah. At the end of the day, they lost Stamkos, but they're still a playoff team. That team is going to be a tough beat no matter what, except for the Panthers, because we will make them our dad. We will be their daddies. Yeah. But they still got Kucherov. That team is still the real deal.
Other teams that I have here, even though you disagree with me, where I have here is the Bruins, the Islanders. These are teams that are just like they're not awful, but they need something on defense. I think in the Bruins, I mean, they need to work something on that.
And the Bruins restocked that. That blue line is huge now. They retooled it, and they just haven't really. But I do think the Bruins are still learning. They're still trying to play together a little bit. They're learning how to play together. That defense, but I mean, that back line. They literally built that back line to try and beat Florida,
and they can't do it.
And
right now, it doesn't look like they can beat anything.
We are so in their head. Tell me we're not in the Boston Bruins head.
No. Any Boston team that plays us just starts shaking. They're like, oh, fuck.
I mean, that opening game in Florida was electric. Obviously,
a lot of energy.
It was ring night, banner night. They didn't start Swayman. We're pounding them. It's 6-1. We're chanting, we want Swayman. Like, just taunting them.
It's beautiful.
Abusing them. Then we go to Boston, where they have Swayman. We have no Barkov, no Kachuk, and we still put an absolute drumming on them.
Yeah.
Whooping with Swayman and net. We own that team. We're so in their head. You can see beautiful. It. They go out there. They're undisciplined. It's so fun to watch. Fuck Boston.
Fuck Boston, dude. Fuck Boston.
That team should be a juggernaut, and they have not played like it.
Yeah,
I'm
I
worried.
think they have all the ability to be much better, and they're just not playing together. I think there's still a lot of hockey to play. I think they will eventually be a playoff team. Just right now, it kind of
Yeah,
just
look, don't get me wrong. This is very knee jerk. We're a
yeah.
month in. They played 10 games and they're like 4-5-1. I think it's not panic mode by any
No,
stretch. They'll be fine. They'll be a playoff team, but they just I feel like there was a lot of drama in the offseason for them. They had the Swayman free agency contract talk drama, which that was a debacle on for the Boston front office. But they were able to retool that back line. They haven't played great yet, but you know, it's coming.
it's coming.
They'll be
Other
fine.
other teams
The
here,
Islanders can't hold a lead though. That has been funny. Like
Islanders have been
they
Islanders
blow
are
more third
yeah.
period leads than anyone has. I mean, dude, the Panthers did it too. They were up 3-0 against the Panthers or 3-1. We won 6-3.
Yeah,
Like
no.
on the third, like that team is. I don't know what the hell's
They're,
going on.
the only
there.
reason they're even in this conversation is Sorkin. He's been playing lights out, trying to keep them competitive. But god damn, dude, what is
I don't
up?
know. It's just funny to watch. I almost feel like they're just a great team. We see them winning in the third period, but the other team.
Their
You
defense.
can play- it's
Listen,
crazy.
last team I have here are the Kings. I think they're on a bit of a roller coaster. They're going up and down all over the place. I think Dottie's not on their defense hurts them, and they're starting pulling out points. I think they need to be more consistent if they're going to make a run for the playoffs. They're not awful by any means, but I definitely think that they need some consistency and a little bit more balance. The next tier that I have here are the teams that are struggling. They're not the worst team ever. They haven't given up hope, but they're struggling. Here I have the Avalanche, Red Wings, Senators, Blues, Flames. These teams right now.
These are a couple of the panic mode. Even though I will say the Flames are been on a tear, man. That is a
they
team.
have been doing a lot better.
They were supposed to. Well, the Flames were supposed to be a dog shit team this year. They're supposed to be bad, like Sharks bad, and they've been on a tear, man. They're playing good.
They're on
hockey.
a little hot streak. I mean, their record doesn't have them to deserve to be here. They're 6-3-1, but they're not a good team. Like this team's not talented in the sense of
If I'm their fan base, I'm like, can you guys stop winning so we can get a draft pick? Like,
yeah, we
gotta
help.
rebuild here. Like, relax.
Ottawa power play is scorching right now. Sanderson is picking up the puck brilliantly, and I think they're going to start cooling down, though. Red Wings, we talked about them. I think Edvinson's been an absolute beast on their defense, but I think they're going to need some youth to get this team up and running. And the Avalanche, how do you feel about the Avalanche this year?
I think the two teams to really talk about in this tier are the Avalanche and Nashville. I think both those teams are a month into the season, but if you had to put two teams in panic mode, it would be those two. I mean, the problem with the Avs is they have 6 forwards on IR right now. Like big guys like Landeskog, Ross Colton just broke his ankle. He's out for like 6 to 8 weeks.
I know, and he was on their first line.
I can never say his name. Nichushkin.
Don't ask me.
Nichushkin,
Yes.
whatever. But
yes.
that guy's an absolute freak, and he just couldn't stay off the drugs. But he's supposed to be coming back in November. If he could be anything like he was, that'll help them a little bit. But they're missing him. I think Druin got hurt. He was McKinnon first line mate. Wood, Lekkonen, like their entire third line I think is out on IR right now. The entire third line.
Yeah.
That team is just like they're a really good roster that is just gotten absolutely decimated by injuries. If Bentner can get them into the playoffs, give that guy fucking coach of the year, coach of the century, give him all the awards because poor guy. I mean, if you're an Avs fan right now, it's going to be tough sledding. You do still have, top 3 player on the planet in McKinnon and Cale Makar. Those two guys, those are great players. They'll carry you as far as they can. But the other thing with them is I think they have a huge goalie issue too, man. True. They can't stop the puck.
True.
It's going to be tough sledding for them. They're kind of in panic mode, patching holes in the ship left and right. We'll see where they go. And then the other team is Nashville.
You said the Predator. I have the Predator on my other tier. I have them on the tier under this, man. They're being fucking god-awful.
I know, but think about it. I understand that. They got to be in, like, that team spent like $130 million in the offseason. Like, they were set, they had all this momentum from, last year and the famous canceled Vegas trip. To go on that run, to sneak into the playoffs, and then you just saw them not be able to score the goals that they needed. So then they went out and spent all this money, getting goal scorers.
Dude,
they got Stammer. They got Marshall. So they went out and spent, they spent the money, but
They're not scoring. They're just
it
like,
hasn't worked. And maybe, you got to come together and they need time to gel. But they started 0-5.
yeah, no,
Like, that is
god awful.
crazy.
Dude, god awful.
That is
They did beat the
crazy.
Bruins 4-0. Maybe they turn it around. And
They've
they
played a
start-
little better. I think they've won 3 out of the last 4. I think they won 3 in a row after going
Oh, okay.
0-5.
I haven't seen.
and then,
I have outdated information. I had them at 2-7, so I probably missed the last game yesterday. But
they won 3 in a row, and then they lost to Tampa in overtime. I think yesterday was Stammer's homecoming.
so maybe they kind of found something in their offense, but they've been playing really bad, man.
They were 0-5. That was like straight. If you were a
Yeah.
Nashville fan, you were in pure panic mode. Like, what are we doing?
You know what team I kind of like this year to make a fun little playoff spot is Seattle, man. I think Montour, we miss him here, but I think he's really made an impact in Seattle. He's everywhere. They're out shooting their opponents. I think they got like a strong little foundation there. I think they're gonna have to work on some consistency, and I think they need to add a few little pieces. But I like them for like a fun little playoff run.
And they got what's her name? Was it Jessica Campbell?
That's right, the assistant coach, man.
First assistant coach behind the bench in the NHL.
I think it's super cool.
New coach.
I think that's a great thing to see. I think it's great for the sport. I love it when I see that in hockey. I love when I see stuff like that in all sports, are women taking positions of leadership.
It could get a little awkward in the locker room because hockey locker rooms, the talk is intense. But I mean, she's got to know what's coming.
I'm sure she's tougher than half the guys on that team.
I agree. No, I'm just talking like the jokes that go around in a locker room. But I like to see it. I think it's fun. I'm about it. I think it's good for the sport. I think it's fun to see. And yeah, Seattle could be a fun team to see in the playoffs. I'd love to see Montour, but I think he had a hat trick the other day.
Did he? Nice.
I think, dude, I'm pretty sure Montour had a hat trick the other night. I think it was against Montreal.
Nice. I saw there's a bunch of guys there with like huge point totals this season. It's like a record for how many people have such high point scores this year.
Look, they've kind of, they're 5-4, but they've been high flying. They have some talent on that team. I haven't followed them. They're on the other side of the country, so I haven't followed them or watched, very many games. I've just been following Montour because I miss him. It's a shame we couldn't afford him. He was such a good player for our back line. But, it's good to see him doing well. Dude, a hat trick like that.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Listen, there's 38 guys with 10 or more points this season, and we're only in the first month. We have 10 games played?
That's impossible. There's 38 guys. 38
guys with 10 points.
There's not even 38 guys on the roster. What are you talking about?
No, not on the team, in the league, bro.
Oh, I think you're talking about the Kraken. I was like, what?
Come on. Yeah, right. I wish. Mark Stone's sitting on top with 18 points with the Knights, man. God bless him.
Dude, he's been playing so good. And Jack Eichel looks like the best player. He looks like the best player in the NHL right now.
Rhino's up there with 16 as well, man. He's top 5.
Dude, I'm telling you, man. Earning every penny of that that contract.
Fucking McKinnon's probably going to make another run this year for being the top point.
Agreed.
Yeah,
By the way, also Sam Bennett. Sam Bennett's got 8 goals this year.
Sam Bennett is a great player, man. He's at 12 points.
He's having a big year, contract year. I think we're going to lock him up again, though. I think the Panthers get something done with him.
I would love to see him.
I think he's even though if he went on the open market, he would get a bag, dude. He's like the perfect player that some of these teams want. You want to talk about a mean guy? You're talking about a team like New Jersey that needs to get mean, or like Toronto, or one of these teams that just needs some grit.
They would love to have some guy like this.
They would kill for a guy like Sam Bennett.
That's so true. Kind of the worst teams I have here. I talked about them a little bit, Predators, but I think they're all beat up. I think one of the worst teams, and we talked a little bit before the pod, Utah Hockey Club, the Arizona Coyotes. No, Phoenix Coyotes.
They've been fun though. I don't think it's sustainable,
awful, bro.
I mean, dude, they're 4. They're like 4-4.
4-3-1. You know who else is super bad? The Sharks. They're very bad. No, that's a rough.
But watch. Utah. I mean, I think Utah's man. I think Utah's 4-4 now.
Chicago, man. Chicago's been playing like shit too, man. I don't know. Where the hell's Bedard? I mean, he's obviously one of the better players in the league, right? But man, I think they lack everything on that team.
I agree. They're rebuilding. But yeah, man, I'm with you. Those teams are bad. Utah, I think Utah, they had Dylan Gunther,
Mm-hmm.
the rookie. He came out and he's been a lightning rod. He's been good this year. Clayton Keller also. So they have some fun guys, some fun young guys on that Utah team.
They just can't stop scoring on them. Ingram can't stop a goal. Can't stop.
No, I think that of that group of teams, I think they're the best ones. Them or maybe St. Louis. I think St. Louis they're not a playoff team, but they are better.
Yes.
They're one of those teams. They'll be like, they'll kind of be there scratching and clawing for a wild card and then fall like, it'll be like always like 2, 3, 4 games behind the wild card, kind of like right there and never really get in. I think they're
Kind of
like
the
that.
Canadians
Maybe.
this year, or the Sabres, maybe.
Yeah, something like that.
Team
No,
that
Sabres. I think Sabres they're playing better, but I think they're dog shit.
Yeah. That's
Yeah, I
good.
think
I
they're
mean,
dog shit.
there's other teams obviously that we could talk about.
They got some lucky wins, like that win against the Panthers. They had no business winning that game, shit like that.
That was such a stupid game. I think NHL is in a really good spot. We talked about it last year, how much fun the NHL has gotten and how many good players. And I think the hockey that we're seeing is really good hockey. I'm very excited about it. I'm going to post up all these rankings on the website. Make sure you guys check that out. I think hockey's in a great spot, especially for the first month. We're going to start hearing us talk more about hockey this year. We're going to start getting some bets coming in, maybe some parlays. We're going to start doing some home parlays with the Panthers. You know how much we love the Panther bets. We love the Barkey, where we're doing the Chucky goal. We're doing Chucky points always.
The one this year, since they've been out, I've just been hammering. It's basically one of my favorite bets. I've been doing it for like 2 years now. Rhino goal, Cats money line.
Chucky points.
Rhino goal, Cats money line. Just those two. Especially last year because he was on that tear. That's kind of when it really started, when he was on that goal tear and he had 57 goals. I would bet him to score every night, but I mean, dude, he's crushed it this year. So I've been betting it like crazy. What's he got, like 6 goals already?
No, yeah, he's killing it. Now that Barkey's back, I'm gonna jump on the Barkey goal. I love when Barkey's playing, and the dog's gotta eat. You know what I mean? Barkey's gotta eat.
Dude, it was his first game back. He had this sick pass for an assist to Reinhardt on the power play. I mean, just classic.
Maybe instead of gold points, maybe I'll do Barkey points.
That's the better bet. But he had that sick. It was like a no look backhanded pass. Reinhardt almost didn't expect it. Top shelves it, and you just see him like they showed in the replay. They showed Reinhardt's face. He's just like laughing, like that was fucking ridiculous. Like, how did you even get that? I didn't even see it coming. No one saw the pass coming. It's ridiculous. And then he scored after that. And then Barkey scored.
I know we're home fans, man, but the Panthers look like they're having a lot of fun this season. I think last season it was very competitive. They were aggressive. They were mean. This season they look like they're just out to have a good time and dominate at the same time.
You want to know what it is? This team looks so confident.
Well, there's no pressure now.
I just think this team is so seasoned at this point with 2 back-to-back cup runs. They've seen it all. They've gone through it all. Adversity, being down 3 games, being down 2 games,
losing to the
being
Oilers.
down in games, late in games, and coming back and winning. This team has gone through everything, injuries, you name it. When you go through 2 runs like that, and you have that kind of success. So this team, especially like, the core 9, 10 guys, they've been through it all, So you're just seeing this ultra confident team they're primed right now. They really are primed.
I'm super pumped, man. I think NHL is going to be in a great spot. I think the Panthers, dude, how many games do we have? We got to make it a few games this year, more than we did last year. I need to get in some Panthers. I need to get in the ice. Just drown
you better do it before the kid comes.
Well, that's not going to happen anytime soon, is it? Damn it. I just thought about that. I just screwed myself. Ladies and gentlemen.
No, we'll get to some games. Well, for sure.
Maybe we could get our wives to live in a hut with the kids for like just a night, and then we could sneak out together.
Nah, we'll do it. We're going to do a little first step field trip to Panthers games. We'll go, maybe we'll go live on the Instagram or something. We'll have some fun with it.
Listen, I got nothing else, man. I'm super pumped for hockey. Thank you for jumping on with this. I think that you on my pod gets me excited. I love seeing you. I love talking to you. I love being with you. First step is not the same without you. I missed you, buddy.
It feels good to be back, man. Feels good to be back.
I know Stupid Stu and Charlie Pigskin miss you. They want to touch. They want to rub that hairy chest of yours. They want to hear you badmouth me and all my bets. But I'm excited that you're here. So listen, guys, make sure you guys show some love. Make sure you guys comment, like, give us a high five, comment on something. Tell us about something you want to hear on the podcast or on the comments. Send us an email at info@firststeppodcast.com. Show us some love. Make sure you check out all the merch. This fancy little sweater that I'm wearing is on there. This little fancy sweater is on there. You guys saw my Parlay and Pray shirt, which I love. The new Dolphin shirt that just came out, I freaking love it. It's one of my favorite shirts. Raised on croquetas and the Dolphins. What else, Hop? Do we have any more housekeeping?
No, I think that's it. Check out the merch for sure. It looks awesome. I'm still waiting for mine to come in, but I'm definitely, I've got like 4 different shirts.
That's beautiful. Make sure you guys have a great Halloween. Make sure you guys stay safe. And you guys are incredible. See you next time. Have a good one.
Later.
Goodbye.
You've been listening to First Step. We told you we don't take this too seriously, didn't we? I'd say we've proven that. Yes, we love sports, and we love sports betting. But we like the funner side, not the stuffy side. We hope you had a blast like we did. If so, make sure to like, rate, and review. We'll be back soon. But in the meantime, find us on Instagram and TikTok at First Step Bets. See you next time on First Step.